this summer, my book reading agenda has all been romance books. I've read like one non-romance book this summer, and it was Realmbreaker. The second book is called Bladebreaker, and it was great. But I've just been in a romance mood, and my love life is very, very shit. It's not very great. It's not great at all. So I think reading romance books is allowing me to live vicariously through all of these really cool characters. I have read the entirety of the Twisted series, the Dirty Air series, Book Lovers, and now I'm going to read another book by Emily Henry, a very, very popular TikTok book called We are going to be going along and reading this book together. Majority of this video will be spoiler free, so don't worry. However, I will include a 5-minute clip at the end for those who have read the book to just kind of dissect our opinions. It's like a mini book club. It's a book club where I'm just talking to you, but if you comment down below on the video, I will communicate back. So I have read the blurb, and I really know nothing about this book. I just know this book is called Beach Read, and I know the main characters of the book are called January and Gus. And I think that's my first pet peeve of this book. So I don't know if I'm gonna like this book already. January and Gus are such weird names. They are so peculiar, and I'm really sorry if anybody watching this video, his name is January and Gus. Your name is absolutely beautiful. Gus, like the name Gus. Gustin, that's not a thing.
Okay, I think it's Spanish Gusvo.
Gusvo?
Yeah.
So what am I hoping to get out of this experience of reading Beach Read? I want to feel special. I want the main character, whose name happens to be January, to feel special, and for me to feel special vicariously. I know this person's a reader and a writer, so maybe it will unblock my writer's block. I don't know. I just want to feel something. I really just want to feel something. So I've officially read the first 8 chapters of Beach Read, and here are my initial thoughts. First initial thoughts: January is depressed. I have read Emily Henry before. I have read Book Lovers, and I love the way she establishes the main female character. She makes us understand from the get-go the problem in the main character's life, and January is truly depressed. And I really like the way Emily Henry presents this, because she just doesn't just tell us she's depressed. She uses flashbacks from her childhood and her current state in life, and January's current self analyzing those childhood memories to present her depression. So basically, January is a romance writer. She loves writing women's fiction, and this all comes from her parents. You know, her parents showed her through love you can always have a happily ever after, no matter if your parents have cancer, going through chemo. Through this love that keeps everybody together and that keeps humanity together, there will always be a happy ending. And this inspired her love for humanity. But now, in this current stage where the book starts, January doesn't have that love and humanity anymore, because the relationship between her parents wasn't what she thought it was. I really like this is gonna sound like I'm such an evil person, but I just like that it was so mundane, and Emily Henry does a really great job of the way it's weaved. Like, it's just not a huge chunk of her just telling us a story about her childhood. It is weaved in through her thoughts, and we see glimpses of the old January through her saying like, oh, I miss, you know, being happy and just striking up a conversation with a stranger, and now I can't do that. Now I hate everybody, you know, everybody annoys me, life is hard. And she also used alcohol as a symbolism, which a lot of writers do, to show that, you know, she's having a tough time. She drinks a lot. She's 8 chapters in. She's been drunk like majority of the time. I also really like how Emily Henry like weaves in like a bit of commentary through the book. As a romance writer who writes for females, she basically is criticizing and outing the whole writing industry, saying like, I write romance books and they're great. That doesn't take away from the fact that I'm a great writer, that because I don't write morbid and depressing rubbish. And I think she uses January, the main character, to show that. January and Augustus have like amazing banter. Like, the banter between Gus and January is one of the best I've ever read. Like, it just pours off the page. There is like one bit near the beginning that I was cackling at, where he wants to drive her home because he's drunk, and then she threatens him saying, oh, I have a gun in my back, and he's like, what the actual hell? And then they have this whole banter about the fact that she's carrying a gun in her back. She's not really carrying a gun in her back, but it's just, they're genuinely really, really fun. But you can see this grappling between them, because the fact that Gus is this celebrated writer, because he writes morbid and humanity shit, and because he's a man, and Emily, her name's not Emily, January, who also is as good as a writer as Augustus, but because she doesn't write, depressing stuff. And I think that's the main problem with them. I think that's why they have enemies. It's not their personalities, it's not anything like that. It's generally because of the societal standard that has now put a wedge between them, even though they can both be really great writers. And so I can kind of see how further along the book they're going to help each other realize. I think he's going to realize that how hard romance is to write and how it does make you a valid writer, and I think she's going to realize that actually there needs to be an element of reality and an element of realism in this book. And it's genuinely like such a really good read, and I'm enjoying it so much right now. Guys, live action scene right here. Okay, I'm gonna read it to you guys. It's not like a spoiler, so don't worry. He was like, "You called from a party and dumped your girlfriend?" I cried, "Why would you do that?" He looked my way, eyes narrowed. "Why do you think, January?" I'm now an official part of the excessive amount of tote bags. The under eye circles right now, atrocious. It's atrocious because it's summer and I should not be having under eye circles. That is a bit ridiculous. It is a bit ridiculous. Hey guys, I'm in a completely new location because I decided I want to come to a park and read outside. I read this little bit outside, and I was gonna go to a proper park, but then I woke up really sick today. This is all like extracurricular information. I woke up really sick today, so now I'm just in a field near my house, and I am halfway through the book, and I can say I was so right when I said that Gus and January's relationship was going to develop so well. It's the little moments for me. It's the like holding each other's hand and realize, oh my god, like I'm holding your hand. Why am I holding your hand? I'm not supposed to be holding your hand. We've learned more about Gus's past, and now it makes sense why he's such a serial monogamist. It makes sense why he writes what he writes, and I love how through learning about each other and through becoming friends and challenging each other to become, oh my god, there's ants. She's learning and falling in love with him, but she's also developing a really cool plot for a book. And I love the fact that Emily Henry details the plot of the book that January is writing, because I am also invested in that plot, and you can just see elements of Gus and how the way he views and the way he writes books has now influenced the way that she started to write books and the way she started to see books in a way that's allowing her to explore what she's going through right now and the emotions she's feeling, to uncover that through the characters she reads in her books. And so that is so good. I'm really curious what Gus's book is going to end up being like, and my prediction is I feel like it's just going to be about her, him falling in love with her, and I think it might just be called January, or maybe like another month, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure Gus's book is going to be based off of her. And yeah, what I'm looking forward in the last half of the book is obviously for Gus and January to realize they like each other, but for January to kind of get closure on her dad and her relationship with her parents and closure on all of that, and that's what I'm really hoping for. Yeah, this is such vibes. It's even like, it's not sunny, but it's warm, so I didn't have to wear like a coat. And this is the perfect weather, guys.
When you're not here, the sun don't shine. When you're not near, I don't feel like I do when you're with me. It felt like suddenly our souls collided.
When can ants fly? Because I've seen 5 flying ants. That is so disgusting. I'll read you this section because I'm actually just gonna start crying. Because here in this moment, when nothing was happening, and we'd finally run out of things to say, I knew how much I liked Gus Everett, how much he was starting to mean to me. Guys, it doesn't even stop. It goes on, but I don't want to spoil anything. And then she goes, I was happy to be here doing nothing with Gus, and even if it was temporary, it was enough for me to believe that someday I'd be okay again. Yeah. I am officially I've got 40 pages left of this book. I can't wait to just finish the book and be able to do a final wrap up or review. But honestly, reading this book has generally been such an experience. So I remember the first half of this book was mainly going through January's mental state, exploring how January felt. You could start seeing Gus opening her up, both figuratively and literally. And now we're at the stage where we've learned so much about Gus's past, and I start to see why he is the way he is. And it's so beautiful how we can see January learning to love again through seeing why Gus struggles to love. This book, my sister's gonna kill me because this is not my book. I got like halfway through, I was like, why am I underlining this? This is not my book. Okay, hold on. I'll say, I'm not the kind of guy women try to date, he said, frustrated. I never have been. I'm the one they want to hook up with and drug text and hang out with for a change of pace when they've just gotten out of a 7-year relationship with doctors. And that's fine, but I don't want that with you, okay? I can't do that. I think this is kind of relatable because I feel like in a way everybody nowadays is starting to think they're undateable, and I think this kind of comes down to comparison culture. We always see somebody on social media that we perceive that is a lot better than who we think we are, and we always see people, like even amongst our friends, we're like, why are you not interested in that friend? Why are you not, this girl is way prettier than me, she's smarter than me, she's funnier than me, why are you like interested in me? Like, I don't understand. But I was reading another book and it kind of described how we're not supposed to be like perfect puzzle pieces in a relationship. It's supposed to be like a beautiful mosaic where like all of like the broken pieces of each other kind of fall, and all of your broken pieces kind of fall, and you kind of align into this beautiful complete picture. And I think that's a beautiful way to describe it. Though that's skeptical, I don't know if some therapist is going to tell me off for thinking about it that way. This quote encapsulates, like, I think the message the book is trying to say perfectly. I said, bad things don't dig down through your life until the pit's so deep that nothing good will ever be big enough to make you happy again. No matter how much shit, there will always be wildflowers. There will always be Pete's, Maggie's and rainstorms in forests and sun on waves. She teaches Pete, not Pete. LOL! She teaches Gus how to love. And just so beautiful. And you know how I know the book is good? Because I've gotten over the name thing now. I've officially gotten over the name thing. Gotten over the name being January. I would never call Gus Augustus. I've done it once. I'm never doing it again. Yeah, like, I'm very excited to finish the book. Whew. And then to give my final over-encompassing reviews and to tell you whether or not this is worth the read. But I think you can gather right now that it's probably going to be worth the read. At the start of the other video, I said I really, really, really wanted it to rain. And now it's raining! Can I show you this? Is that rain or hell? Oh my god, I'm gonna go outside. The phone better be waterproof. Oh my god. It's actually raining. Literally at the part of the book where she had just submitted her final draft. The thing I had wished for the past week and a half is finally happening. Damn, I'm so happy. This entire day I've had a cold. I've had a cold in summer. Do you know how painful that is? I can't turn the fan on at night anymore because it just dries up my throat, and I lost my card today and I started my period today. But the book is keeping me going. Hey guys, I finally finished reading the book Beach Read. I actually ended up finishing reading it 2 days ago. I finished reading it on Monday. It is now Wednesday, but I wanted to take time because I usually get kind of emotional when I finish the book, so sometimes my opinions are skewed because I'm just sad that the book is ended, but my emotions are still there. This book, I had to give it a 5 out of 5. I think 5 is always just such a weird dodgy scale to put it on. In a scale of 1 to 10, it would probably be like an 8.5, maybe a 9, but this book is so well written. The story itself and the plotline itself is really mundane. Like, it's not like a dramatic romance. It's not like, you know, twisted love where this guy's getting shot and this person's getting, it's not all over the place. It's very mundane, and their love, I like it when their love only impacts each other, you know, like the side characters add but they're not involved, and I really like that. The book is about January and she's in a really hard place after her dad dies, and she's not getting closure from her mom, and her dad left her this house, and the relationship that she thought her parents had, which taught her all about love and happiness and the idea that there will always be a happily ever after, basically just crumbled apart. She broke up with her boyfriend and she's basically depressed at the beginning of the book, which is what I explained to you. And the person living next door to the house that her dad left for her was Gus, who was somebody that she knew and was like a bit of her rival in college, and they basically challenge each other to write their versions of genre, because Gus writes really depressing, really dark literary fiction, and January always writes romance, so they're both challenging each other to become better writers and to encourage each other to finish the novel that they're writing by doing different genres, which I really like. It was a great underlying theme, and I liked hearing their different stories, because other than the plot itself, the plot of the story January was writing was so interesting to me. I was so excited to see how that finished as well. You learn a lot of lessons from this book, and I think that was generally my favorite part. Personally, for me, I learned the importance of staying present, and I feel like I will keep belaboring that point because that is the underlying theme of the book. As January starts to grapple and really rebuild what she thought love and happiness and life meant through her interactions with meeting Gus and being in this small town and dealing with the drawbacks of her father's death, she kind of learns the importance of, you know, life isn't always gonna be happy, but it's just this quote, and I love it. It's like, we just need to learn how to dance in the rain, you know, find small wildflowers and happy moments, because at the end of your life, those are the things you're gonna remember. But generally, the message of the book was so beautiful, and Emily Henry's writing style, mwah, I would marry her. I want to marry her. Emily Henry writes in a way that you would think she is telling you the story of an MCU movie. That's how dramatic she writes, and it's so entertaining, and it's so funny, and it's so witty. The relationship feels realistic, and you understand it. You're like, okay, I see why you guys like each other. I see the attraction, I see the appeal. There is nothing more annoying than a really well written book and the two love interests, you can't see why they like each other. You can't see the interest beyond the physical, and you can see it past the physical. But the fact that she's 29 and Gus is like around the similar age, and like her entire worldview has been broken down, I think that's a very powerful choice rather than her being young, because a lot of people have the misconceptions that when you're older you can't, like, your life view is kind of set. But I like how Emily Henry challenges the fact that, you know, we can always grow and change even as we grow older and older and older, and we see that through Pete and Maggie. We see that through the interactions of the different cult members. There's a cult in the story. I'm not gonna spoil it. It's not a big spoiler, but there is a cult situation in the story. The criticisms towards the writing industry in the book, it wasn't subtle, but it was subtle at some moments where she was like, okay, if I want to make a book a happy ending, it doesn't matter, because sometimes people need to read happy endings. You know, it doesn't have to be dramatic, it doesn't have to be this great commentary on society, you know, it could just be a great entertaining book, and I should be respected as a writer for doing that. And Emily Henry, I fucking love you. I respect you for it. This was such a good book. Generally, I don't have many criticism for this book. If you like Grumpy Sunshine, I know this is a weird one because you wouldn't expect it. If you like Grumpy Sunshine, I think you would genuinely like this book, because even though January is grumpy, she's depressed at the beginning of the book, and Gus is grumpy, that's just his personality. In a way, they both become this sunshine for each other, and I feel like them developing this weird grumpy sunshine parallel metamorphosis was what made their relationship so... It's like grumpy sunshine. I can't explain it, but if you like Grumpy Sunshine, you would genuinely enjoy it, because I'm a big fan of Grumpy Sunshine. I'm a big fan of reverse Grumpy Sunshine, and I just got elements of both of them in this book, which I really, really like. If you're going through a hard time in life, this is also a really great book to read. I think it comforted me. I'm not going through a hard time in life. I'm actually really happy. One question I would love to ask Emily Henry, if I could, is I think that... Hold on, I wrote it down. Do you think January would have fell in love with Gus if the situation with her dad did not happen? Or do you think that whole experience was important for her relationship with Gus in general? And when you read the book, come back and reply in the comments what you think the answer is to that question, or follow me on Instagram or TikTok. I'm gonna also recite the question there as well. And if Emily Henry ever comes across my question and she answers it, I will ascend. Thank you guys for watching this video to the end. I hope you really, really enjoyed it. I will be back with more book vlogs, more writing, and just more of me. So if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. Pick up a book, because it will actually change your life.